Life is rough, but I'm so fortunate to have met you. By Orphan Account, on AO3. Episode 9, Chapter 7, We Are Family, plus the extended. The man in front of Shouta was swaying on his feet, but the pure and utter rage behind his eyes was what really made Shouta tense up. A twinge in his gut reminded him of his still healing injury, even as he drew the door open more to face Midoriya head on. Can I help you? Shouta grunted out, grinding his teeth as he fought the violent urge to jump forward and beat the living daylights out of a Midoriya. Mm-hmm, the man grunted, his furious gaze lazily draining from Shota's to the vacant apartment next door, and back to Shouta. My apartment's locked. And Shouta huffed out, crossing his arms over his chest, and drawing himself to his full 6-foot height. Midoriya seemed to be an inch or two shorter than them. Some primal instinct in Shouta greedily realized. How does that correlate to you slamming on my door at 2 o'clock in the morning? It would not be best to antagonize the man, but Shouta couldn't help but smirk a bit at Midoriya. After all, this was the man that had abused and neglected Shota's kid. Not Midoriya's, because the man had lost all right to being Izuku's father the first time he ever laid a hand on the child. Midoriya grunted and swayed a bit, before huffing out. No good bastard brat. What did you do? Get me locked out? And then, under his breath, the man grunted. I'll fucking kill that brat. I suggest you leave. Shouta got it out from behind clenched teeth. It wouldn't do good for you to go making death threats at 2 o'clock in the morning. Someone may take you seriously and call the authorities. The thin veil around the threat was, unfortunately, too thin. Midoriya snarled, swiping a fist around to slam into the frame of the doorway, right next to Shota's head. Shouta didn't even flinch. His gaze narrowed. Shouta spoke low and even. Don't go getting violent now. It wouldn't be good for you, Mr. Midoriya. You fucking know me? The man started back. Do you know my brat? Is he here? You fucking hiding my little bastard from me? Your kid isn't here. Shouta spoke evenly. My husband and son are asleep, though. I suggest you leave before you wake them up and I have to file a noise violation. Midoriya snarled out. Why, I ought to fucking faggots hiding my fucking kid from me. And then, Midoriya made his final mistake. He reached out, fully intending to put Shouta in a stranglehold with one hand. Fucking finally, Shouta thought. Then he moved. Snatching Midoriya's wrist, Shouta slung the man over his hip, ignoring the protest from his gut, and knocking the man against the bottom of the doorframe. Shota's mouth began to smoke, and he opened it to spew fire. A foot appeared from nowhere, kicking Midoriya hard in the crown of his head. The man's eyes rolled back, and the combined of the force, trauma, and alcohol had him passed out cold. Shouta glanced up, grinning at his husband. Hisashi had a narrowed glare at Midoriya, one hand holding back a snarling teddy, while the other pointed towards the hallway, keeping Izuku out of visible range. I've called the authorities. Hisashi spoke coldly. He'll be here any minute. He'll be arrested for trying to assault a pro hero, as well as child abuse and neglect. Hisashi's foot twitched, and he said under his breath, so that only Shouta could hear, I'd hard pressed to kick the bastard again. Don't. Shouta had to fight himself to say. We don't want you arrested for the murder of Sashi. Fine. Fine. Hisashi waved his hand in the air lacklusterly. I'm gonna go tend to our baby, make sure this guy gets what's coming to him. Babe. It'll be my pleasure. Shouta answers, honestly, as he pressed Midoriya's hand behind his back. The arrest was easy. Once more, Sansa was on the scene. The officer was kind to Izuku, who was shaking, crying, smiling, and laughing all at once. Hurrying to the boy, Sansa made sure Midoriya was locked up tight, while the little Yamada was tucked away under a shock blanket, tightly secured in his father's arm. It was impossible to get Izuku back to sleep after everything. So, at the ripening age of 4 a.m., Hisashi turned on the radio and began to sing as he busied himself making pancakes in the kitchen. Shota gathered up Spork and Bastard and dumped them on Izuku's head and lap, making the child giggle as sandpaper tongues from the cats licked at him in an attempt to comfort. Teddy, ever the loyal dog, curled up around Izuku's feet, and the boy's legs were barely long enough for him to bury his bare toes in the dog's wild fur. Shota grabbed a coffee for himself, choosing to sit back at the table next to Izuku rather than leaning against the bar next to his husband. Hisashi winked at him, kissing at the air before turning back to the bacon and eggs he was nursing at the stove. With a sevi high, Shota turned and ran his finger through Izuku's curls. He noted that it was nearly time for the child to get a haircut, should he want one. He said as much, and Izuku shook his head firmly. I want to grow it out. The bro protested softly. Like Papa and Daddy. Just when Shota thought his heart couldn't melt anymore for his kid. The day went on as normal days would, with the small family, save for the long lingering presence of Izuku, as the boy would typically be off at school. And truthfully, Shota and Hisashi wouldn't have it any other way. The child stood on his stool to help Hisashi dry their dishes, and he did light yoga with Shota in the living room. They all curled up on the couch, ready to read for a while. Izuku murmuring to himself as he pored over his journals and rewrote some of his notes. Hisashi finally cuddled the child in his lap until Shota shoved his husband over, claiming it was his turn for Izuku cuddles. This ended in a tickle fight, with Izuku somehow making his way to the center of the pile. Breathless from laughter, Izuku looked up to his papa and daddy, both of them who were staring down at the child with various grins. Papa, Daddy? Yes, Izu? I love you. Hisashi sniffed, blinking back tears. I love you too, sweetheart. We love you. Shota corrected, tangling his fingers with his husband's hair. Don't ever forget that. A few hours later, Shota and Hisashi presented Izuku with leftover cake and his birthday presents. The child cried softly upon opening up Shota's custom-ordered toy that was made to look exactly like Teddy, then bawled when he opened up Hisashi's homemade scrapbook. Inside were pictures of Izuku with Teddy, Izuku with Shota and Hisashi, Izuku with the cats and walking outside and having fun and loving life. There was a few pictures Izuku hadn't expected as well. Wedding pictures of Hisashi and Shota. Pictures of them in high school, and even a small photo of a young Hisashi with his sisters and a young Shota with his mothers. Those are your grandparents, Shota told his son gently. If you want to meet them. Yes, Izuku said, empathetically, hiccuping and sniffling. Yes, I want to meet them, please. Hisashi grinned back, pressing a kiss to Izuku's temple. Of course, sweetheart. I'll set something up next week. Yeah? Izuku also wanted to meet Hisashi's sisters, which both of his parents knew immediately would be a trip and a half, especially with Hisashi's nieces and nephews. It was later, after the presents and laughter and the joy, that Hisashi and Shota finally set Izuku down on the couch to talk. Izuku. Shota began quietly. Hisashi told me about the other day. How you thought me getting hurt was somehow your fault? Tears welled up in the little boy's eyes. For the upteenth time that day, and he opened his mouth, likely to say something along the lines of because it was, but Shota interrupted him. Izuku, it wasn't your fault I got hurt. I am both a pro hero and your father. I will always step in between you and danger, because that's what I want to and am here to do. If that means I get hurt, then I get hurt. But that is not your fault. And we'll always do our best to come home to you. Hisashi quickly added. Izuku, we want to protect you, because we love you. Even though... The child started, stammering up a storm. Even though I'm quirkless? Shota's gaze softened, and he nodded. Even then, Izuku, even though there's nothing wrong with being quirkless, and even if you do something you're not supposed to, and even if you were a villain, we would always try to protect you. Just don't go being a villain, sweetheart, because we don't want to arrest you, okay? Hisashi chuckled, and Izuku giggled wetly. Oh, okay, Papa. Good. Shouta said, standing up and ignoring the protest from his niece. Hisashi giggled at the popping noise they made, and Shouta punched his husband's arm lightly. Now let's go take a nap. The nap was wonderful, and the little family, all snuggled up with Teddy and the cats, slept soundly, blessedly unbothered by the world for several hours. Okay, so I chose to have the epilogue be a separate little chapter of itself, mainly because recording is hard and I've had a long day and I'm not gonna record anymore because I'm sleepy, I'm tired, and I want to go to sleep. So you can come at me in the comments all you want about how this could have been an 18-minute video, and I could have definitely left it an 18-minute video, and instead of cutting it off as a 10-minute video and then an 8-minute video, but no. I'm sleepy, I'm tired, and I saw the opportunity and I'm taking it. I'm sleepy, I'm tired, and I want to go to sleep. Okay. Let me be sleepy, tired, sleepy, tired. Plus, I have work tomorrow in the morning, so yay! And I have to work with the most horrible of bosses. I mean, she wakes me up at 8 p.m. 8 a.m. She tells me, like, you gotta wake up. And then she's like, we're leaving. Like, right now. And I'm like, okay, fuck. I gotta get ready. I get ready and I run out. It's 8:30 and she's like, oh, we're leaving at 12, but get ready because we're leaving now. What the fuck you mean? I'm joking. I love my mom. It's less work and more I'm helping her with her work and her stuff and stuff like that for her part of the family business and stuff. So, like, I'm not getting paid unless you count coming home and eating some really good food payment. I highly doubt that, though. So I'm not getting paid, but I very much appreciate my mom and I help her out. And I don't know if we're gonna take as long today. It's probably not gonna be, or not today, tomorrow. Probably gonna just be like 3-4 hours of work, which isn't that much, but it's labor, so. And it's out in the sun, and, like, I don't know. Whatever. Point taken is, I'm gonna get a lot of time in recording-wise. Not recording-wise. Listening to Podfic-wise, because that's the only time I don't read and do what I'm supposed to do, right? Normally, I literally read. I don't listen to Podfics while I clean anymore. I just read AO3 as I clean. I have an addiction, and it is past addiction at this point. I think it's become part of my blood. I fall asleep to podfics. I sometimes fall asleep while reading, if I can, but most of the times I have to fall asleep to podfics. There's literally no other way. But for the most part, if I'm not falling asleep to podfics, I'm falling asleep as I'm reading AO3. Most of the time, I'm falling asleep while I'm reading AO3. I'm cleaning as I read AO3. I am doing what I'm supposed to be doing as I'm, reading AO3. I once roller skated while I was reading AO3. I'm surprised I did not crash and or fall or eat shit or any of the above. But yeah, I have an addiction. Anyways, I'm tired, I'm sleepy, I'm eepy sleepy, and I'm gonna go take some melatonin and knock the fuck out, or at least pray to knock the fuck. I'm gonna take a sleepy tea. That does not have melatonin, I'm checking. It just has herbs that are supposed to make you sleepy. I'm going to smell some nice lavender and give me some aurora, and a therapy for noses and stuff to make you sleepy, I guess. And then I'm going to take some melatonin. I'm going to take some pills that are supposed to help you get better rest. I'm going to lay down. I'm going to play some white noise in the form of rain. I'm going to close my eyes and I'm going to start counting sheep and pray that I fucking fall asleep. Because I don't want to be tired tomorrow, because again, I have work. But this is really cute. Again, I do not remember any of this. Like, any of this. Honest to God. It is, all of it for some reason just went over my head the first time I saw this. I don't know why. So I am experiencing this for the first time like you guys are, so yeah. Anyways, as always, my brain drops. Make sure to eat, sleep, drink water, take your meds. Have a wonderful day or night. Link to my Discord server and socials are down in the description. Subscribe to see more of my content, and thank you so much for watching.